So I haven't done one of these in a while. Made a list. I want to go over reckoning, or a reckoner, because it is a device or table used for calculation. But I've never been able to find an example of any other reckoner. Okay, you can Google all you want. All you're gonna find is, hey, I Googled right here. What the hell is that? It's not what I Googled. I Googled a device or table used for calculation, and all you get is the abacus. It is a mighty good reckoner, but it doesn't really help us. You know, the whole reason that reckoners and abacuses or abacuses were created was to calculate interest. Because certain people who had more than enough wanted to make more money by doing nothing, so they had to come up with some kind of way of calculating how to fuck over Mr. Guy. Right? Now, again, there's a bunch of different calculating machines, calculate interest. Calculating interest to get more out of doing nothing for oneself is completely the opposite direction of motive for my reckoner, which is something to bring oneness to the world together and abundance for all. It is selfless. Looking for David. Did anyone see him? Has anybody seen him? Yeah, music. It brings me to my next point. Fair use. Alright, so I don't think anyone understands what a reckoner is, even though they reckon. They don't recognize at all. You better recognize, but you don't. So we're going to go into that a little bit further. Fair use, which is basically like, what am I doing here? You know? Everything I have to say has already been said before. And it's convenient that when you look into everything from a certain point of view, you kind of get the same patterns going. And you see the same message. And it's congruent. Imagine if one thing linked them all. One ring to rule them all. If I traded it all for one thing, wouldn't that be something? Finger 11, guy. Finger 11, which reminds me. Hey, like, I could be playing, like, what do I need to do to become a radio DJ? Like, seriously, guy. I want to sit here, do my podcast, and listen to tunes really loud. I want to dissect the words and take a look at it and see if we can all come to the same conclusion, you know? My argument from ignorance is that if you can't prove what I have to say wrong, by default, it has to be correct. Still haven't been able to prove myself wrong. You know, 1 of 7 of 13 of 110 of 2143 is quite powerful. And that is the main congruent message in my reckoner, which is all based about prime numbers and pi and, feet in the mile and everything. Everything you know is on that reckoner. And I have never seen another reckoner do anything close to that. And I want to use movies, music, TV, anything. If it's been created, it is fair game to be used to show you a linkage to the theory of everything, which is not some Stephen Hawking, like, black hole movie. Indirectly, it is. They're clever. You know? Is it all coincidence? No, that's your own discernment, because I don't even know. I think everyone's a useful idiot, really, but there are some that are more useful than others. Anyways, so what platform exists for reform is pretty much, what do you do next? Okay, like, alright, let's go to Spotify and make $100 million. No. Let's teach people about how powerful numbers are in the words they use and how it relates to the reckoner. Would that be an awakening? So what platform is there? Should I go to local government, municipal government, provincial government, federal government? Is there a better website I should go to? Is there some other avenue to pursue? Because Now, Joe Rogan's getting off of YouTube, so Kevin's thinking about getting off YouTube and getting far away from anything like that. Which brings me to farming. I'm about ready to just go somewhere really far and live at a farm that I don't even own and just work like a slave. Because if I was doing more of a good for a direct community in terms of feeding them so everyone's good, I would find myself being more useful than I currently am. I'm not saying I want to rush back to work right away, because I don't think anyone that works in the kitchen wants to go back to work. But everyone who doesn't work in the kitchen wants restaurants to open. Everyone's bitching about they need $2,000 a month to live. I made $2,000 stretch 2 months. And now because, I got 2 different government agencies with my current mailing address, and because my old thing on their file is from like years ago, that's where my mail's been going, so I can't log in and finish my thing on the Canadian. Thank you for using my useless website for useless employees that govern the mental. So, anyway. Not a lot to gain here. So, yeah, I looked at that. This is pretty neat. The guy was talking, didn't know anything. Or he knew somebody wasn't talking. Oh yeah, dude, the front steps of the Supreme Court. On my left, when facing it, there is a statue for truth, and on my right, when facing it, is a statue for justice. Truth is the feminine, so my left would be the feminine, it's a female statue. Justice would be a masculine, with a guy in a cloak with a sword. Okay? And I think it's like, yeah, it's right here. I'll get to the Metallica, don't worry. And justice for all, I find it interesting that on the... on the statue it said truth and justice. So, right here. So it says Veritas, Veritas, and If Saint Ita, I don't know, Ivstitia. So I looked at these, obviously there's some kind of weird different language, but just look at the letters in the English alphabet, write the numbers out. The letters that are shared are VITAS. VITAS. Read it backwards. It's SATIV. And if that word was in a bubble, and that bubble was a 1, it'd be an A. So SATIVA. It says sativa backwards, kind of. It also says visa with a cross. Saint Via. Yeah, every time they say like saint or an ST, I think saint. So Stark from Game of Thrones is Saint of the Ark. Ark of the what? What are they sainting? Start. Saint of the art. Now I'm ready to start. Arcade Fire, 2012, off their everything-winning album, The Suburbs. Now I'm ready to start. My mind is open wide to reach out into the dark. Anyway. Veritas kind of looks like Traveris, but it's TRVSEA. And the V is the 22nd, and S is the 19th, and if you just move 1 to 1, and 22 becomes 21, and 19 becomes 20, there's your UT. So Veritas rearranges TRVS, which becomes TRUT, and then EA, if you count the bubbles of the E and the A to add them together, because they're not added together here, but if you add them together and count for bubbles, that's the 5th circle in the 1st circle, which would be a 6 and a 2, which is an 8. So literally, Veritas means truth. And justice does the same thing, kind of. Truth. Not only does it rearrange to truth, it obviously means 3858, because we've covered how if you count 0 as 0, and take the numbers for the letters that spell truth, It's obviously 3858, which are the number of magnets required in one base cellular energy device. So, and justice for all, man. You should go over this. I'd play it for you, but I can't. Which is one I like the best? There you go. Lady Justice has been raped. Truth assassin. Just what is truth? I cannot tell, cannot feel. The ultimate in vanity exploiting their supremacy. No, they know the number game. The vain are the people who know they are playing a hand in the game, and because they know, and knowledge is power, yeah, nothing can save us except you and everyone else. Anyways, looking at the Joe Rogan podcast where he talks about the egg farmer guy, whatever, the farmer guy, I was saying all this stuff 2011, 2012. Bought a farm, people thought I was crazy. I bet if I was still on my farm now, they wouldn't think I was crazy. I thought they were crazy for not wanting to have a farm and being self-sufficient. So I want to go back to doing that, even if I'm not doing it for myself, but I'd be a lot more happy, I think, and busy, and being busy is essentially happy. So, farming. Yeah, the egg industry, it's a $1.4 billion annual thing, but it doesn't need to be if we could have backyard chickens. If everyone was allowed to make chickens, sure, grocery stores will still have eggs. Not as much as they do. And they're shit eggs, guy. They are shit eggs. Quality input to the chicken means quality the output of the chicken, being the egg, or the meat. They're not getting a diverse enough diet, and it doesn't take any less or more room to free range and slowly grow them instead of jamming them. It just, your rotation's off X amount of months later instead of 5-week chickens, you know? But I don't want to go there, because what can we do? Because there is no platform that exists for reform. There is not one platform that exists for reform. There's not one useful person in any echelon of governing the mental regarding reform on any platform worldwide that is useful enough to kickstart this into gear. Not one person is willing to champion. I can't. I can scream to the wind all I want. What is it? I talk to the wind. I scream to the Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. That's not what I want. Anyway, I can make a lot of noise and it doesn't really matter. You know, because 1 of 7 of 13 of 110 is not only your American flag. It's you. It's the theory of everything. So if it's the theory of everything, here. Okay, fair use. Okay, this is just my beef with YouTube. I am not monetizing my channel. Is that why I'm being, like, harassed? Because I watch fat little 8-year-olds from America have first reaction videos to Led Zeppelin 2. Oh my god, it's so good! 40,000 views. I'm going to play the whole song. They can talk about how awesome it is. But if you try to make a point and show people stuff and just kind of hammer it home, and, oh, well, every time you play a song, they got to get paid, right? Oh, if I start doing this and everyone starts doing this, no one's going to listen to the radio anymore. Who's to say? Fair use. Fair use is not very fair. I used to think I could do something with YouTube and make a change, but I can't, and I haven't. And it's really only backfired and made me look like an idiot, so not sure what to do, which is why I do nothing. And I don't like wasting energy making stuff for you that you don't understand or care about, because you do not recognize. Now, recognizing 1 of 7 of 13 of 110 of 2143 is you. Everyone has an asshole. You have one asshole, male or female, I don't care. Then everyone has a male or female pee hole. Every one of you have 7 holes in your face. And every one of you has 13 holes in your skull. Look it up. Count. Where's the next hole? Your belly button. Not really a hole. It used to be a hole, now it's not a hole. But it made me think of what? Small and large intestine. Yes. Ah. 6 meters, or 20 feet, for the small. And the large is 1.5 meters, or 5 feet. Okay, let's take the feet. Well, 20 times 5 is 100. Let's take the meters. 6 times 1.5 is 9. 100 plus 9 is 109. Intestines. It's like a flag within a flag, because it's a large intestine and a small intestine. That's why the 9 times 11 for your American flag stars, if you actually count the rows and columns, not full rows and columns, but the 9 times 11 is 99. And if you count the diagonal rows, there's 10 in that universal blue. 109 things in that universal blue, it's 110. So the other hole points to your 110 in some weird indirect way, if you understand the 2 units of measurement we use, and combine them for some strange reason. Because it seems to work. I didn't make your intestine. I just associated the math. You know, the first thing I made on that whiteboard over there is E equals MC squared. And I showed you how that is 1 of 1 of 7 of 13 of 110 of 2143. So, where are we? As I rant and try to end this. You have 110 units of measurement. Measurements of intestine. Yeah, it's pretty good. And 2143, very hard. What do we have 2143 of? So, I'm looking at my phone here. I Google things. So yeah, how long is the small intestine? Okay. How many systems are in the human body? There's 11. Usually systems have subsystems, and we'll just call those blank bubbles. So you have 11 blank bubbles, 110. Maybe it's not units of measurement of the intestine. Maybe it's maybe it's systems and subsystems. I usually like to do things twice. Oh, that's 70 systems. Okay, then I said, okay, nerves. Because I was like, nah, the next hole. Maybe it's your third eye. It's something to do with your brain, I thought. Your brain, nervous system, spinal cord. Bones. How many bones in the human body? I didn't actually check that out. How many bones in human body? 206. 270 bones at birth, but they fuse together to make 206. So what's 270 times 206? 55,620. That's not what I want at all. What is that? Okay, how about this? 1 times 7 times 13 times 110 times 2143 equals 21 million and change. 21 million and change. Let's square that. Thousands, millions, billions, trillions. Okay, 460 trillion. How many nerves in the body? $7 trillion. I got 460 trillion. Well, 2143. I don't know. 2143. What is that in your body? We're talking about holes. Holes. I don't know. I always have trouble with the last one. Yeah, when I was looking here, I saw the lyrics for all those songs. Like check, guy. Saint of the art. Like, this is art. Doing a reckoner is art. I don't... Google reckoners. Find me a reckoner. Find me any other reckoner. Find me anyone that's ever published a reckoner. Please. That is not used to calculate interest to fuck people over for money. My reckoner is a teaching aid. My reckoner makes you understand the earth. My reckoner makes you understand Genesis 1 of the Bible. My reckoner, hopefully, is a schematic and plan to sustain cellular energy that will electrify the human resonance of the earth, of the cell you live inside of, because everything is upside down, backwards, and flipped in how you perceive it. Your eyeball is a lens. When an image passes through a lens, it's flipped. That alone means you're on the inside walls of the beach ball. What you think you see is an analog to digital depiction of your brain taking an analog system and decoding it digitally, and your brain is processing it linearly, flat, with the illusion of flat. There's so much curvature, and you have to reverse engineer the signal into what it does before it becomes flat. It's optics, and I can't help you with optics. I find this interesting. Ready to start, right? Start is saint of the art. In the second line it says, the businessmen are drinking my blood like the kids in art school said they would. Yeah. It's interesting. Now I'm ready to start, which I'm ready to end because I'm going to hit end soon. I would rather be wrong than live in the shadows of your song. My mind is open wide, and now I'm ready to saint of the art. Now I'm ready to saint art. My mind is open wide, and now I'm ready to start. You're not sure you open the door to step out into the dark. Now I'm ready. Nerves in the human body. 7 trillion. Well, 2 1 of 7s. T is a 20. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, or not. I don't know. If you have any ideas, I'd love a job. I don't know, if I could be like full reins at allowing me to manipulate. Like, I'd love to just turn on my laptop and actually film a video of me going through the process of how I do my mashups, of me filming, of me editing. I'm just sitting in a chair doing my thing and quiet, but see what the actual work that goes into the goddamn thing. It's a little bit more than nothing, even though I do it fast. It still, in the end, does nothing. I'm gonna write a book about this. I have like 2 meals of food left in my house, and I have to go to the food bank, but they're only open 2 days a week now, and you can only go once a month. So they're only open on Monday and Tuesday now. Thanks, Wu-Tang Clan. Donated like $180 million to the Ottawa Food Bank for some goddamn reason. Staten Island represents. Yeah, I like that. Shout out to Staten Island at the end. Pete Davidson, what?